All right, so Brian asks, what Social Security if you stop working before full retirement age? All right, he says, I've watched many of your YouTube videos and greatly appreciate your content. Well, obviously, he hasn't watched too many, my friends. I'll share with you why here in just a second. I'm just goofing, but it's not like we haven't been through this topic on numerous occasions. It's okay. It's okay. So you haven't watched enough, Brian. So he says to watch many. Obviously, you haven't watched all, sir. If you've watched all, you would have the answer to these questions. Go back and watch them all right now and make me that YouTube money. Come on. One topic I haven't seen discussed is what happens to, right here, he likes my political opinions too. Yeah, but how dare you, Brian? Don't you know that, what do they call me? I'm a, what was one guy call me? He calls me, I'm a dope smoking freshman, is what he called me. All right, so if you stop working to your Social Security and before your full retirement age, my statement gives me value and says if you work until your FRA. Does that mean if I stop working and no longer paying to Social Security, my monthly payment would decrease? All right, so let's go. So what I'm doing here is we're going to go to, you'll see I typed in what happens to my Social Security right here. I get 6 different videos. What happens to my Social Security? And this one right here seems to be the big one. I just did this last March. So what happens to my Social Security if I retire at 62 but don't take it till 67? So we'll copy that and put this in the show notes. It's actually pretty simple. Actually, let me just go back one second and go to the playlist. Now I got incognito page here, which means it doesn't track my previous who I am in theory. So that means it'll give me the it won't know my I don't follow the matrix. I don't know who these are. None of these. So it doesn't show me who. The videos I normally watch. So we're going to go to Heritage Wealth Planning. All right, let's see what we got. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to right here. All right, and then we're going to type in, we're going to click pause that. Then we're going to type in here, what happens to my Social Security? Let's see what happens. I'm not sure of that. Yeah, right there, sweet. So you just type in what happens to my Social Security if I let's see, right here. All right, good. So that's the man. I got 160,000 views on that guy. Wow, pretty good, man. I'll take it. Anyway, so if you do that, it'll take you to the video there. I'll put a link in the show notes. All right. So remember, I got a Social Security statement from 2010 right here. It's cleaning out my workout room. And let's see, your estimated benefit back then in 2010 for me was $2,236 in 2010. All right, now notice 2,236. That is in 2010 numbers. My estimated benefit today is 3,100. Isn't that interesting? Because what they're saying is back in 2009, I made $85,688. All right, so that's what this is based on. They're saying if you continue to make $85,688 from 2010, I was 40, right? Yeah, 40 years old, 1970, 40 years old. So they said if you keep making that until your full retirement age, your benefit would be $2,236. That was in 2010 numbers, by the way. All right, so nothing's being inflated there. All right, now if I stopped working at 62 and I took my benefit would be 1,512. All right, if I stopped working at 70, my benefit would be 2,820. But notice that all includes what if I stop working at 62, stop working at 67, stop working at 70. What if I stop working at 55? If you stop working at 55 and take your benefit 62, 67, or 70, that's where you got. I'm not going to get into the numbers here. That's where you got to watch these videos. I'll link in the show notes. But I just want to point out, even back then, people say Social Security doesn't pay crap to what I could get if I invested the money myself. They don't know what the hell they're talking about, man. And the reason is because they're using future rates of return on a portfolio, say 5 or 6%, and looking at it as if it's $2,236 is dormant, like it never changes. It does change. So they're not adjusting Social Security with inflation, but they are giving themselves rates of return, which are inherently inflationary and compounding too. One of the biggest mistakes people do on Social Security, it drives me flipping bananas. Like, don't do that, man. Your Social Security is growing at a rate of inflation. I'm going to get into a little bit. It's AWI, Average Wage Index, which historically has been about 75 basis points, 0.75%. higher than cost of living adjustments if memory serves. But anyway, your Social Security benefit that you see today will be adjusted with AWI and cost of living adjustments once you hit 60. Yeah, so it's AWI until 60, and then there's no more AWI increase, average wage index, and then it increases by cost of living adjustment. But you don't even need to know that in this video. I'm just saying at the end of the day, what you see on your Social Security statement is only in today's numbers. It's not in future numbers. It drives me up the wall that Social Security doesn't stay that. Oh, it drives me crazy because people always say, I put in $500 a month in my 401k. I'm going to have $1 million. I can take $50,000 a year from that, and my Social Security is only paying me $2,236 a month. That we're getting robbed. They're giving it to the illegal immigrants, blah, blah, blah. And that's not what's happening, man. Your Social Security is being adjusted as well. Anyway, that's what I want to say. So remember, you work, you develop 35 years of average index monthly earnings. All right. Yeah, so in 2010, I had 1984 to 2009. I was working 1984, I made $156, and in 2009, I made $85,000. So whatever that is, 1984, 26 years, now it's 2021. So I got 37 years of labor. So now I already have 35 years of earnings that will be indexed for inflation. So now what's going to happen going forward is my 1980, every year I make more than $156. It's not, there's more to it than that, but not much more. Every year I make more than $156. If I make $50,000 this year, that will knock out my lower than $50,000 earnings from previous years because it only takes the top 35. So all these people say, I got to keep working until I'm 67. Not necessarily, because you already have your 35 years of index earnings. And if you're making just as much now as you made last year, if it's not taking out previous years of lower earnings years, you're not adding any to your Social Security benefit. And even if it's taken out a little, so even if I'm replacing $156 with $50,000, it's just not going to change that much because I have such a big nut already in there for my previous 34 years. I know this is confusing. Watch these other videos, but I'm just telling you, you don't need to keep working just to build your Social Security unless you don't have 35 years of earnings. If you only have 30, that means you have 5 goose eggs, which you want to have numbers in there is always better than 0. But watch that video. It'll help you explain it. All right, thanks now.